Welcome to this episode of the Health and Wealth Transformation Podcast. And today,
Mm.
we're going to be talking about something that can be kind of scary
Yeah,
for a lot of people.
absolutely.
Managing your finances after a divorce,
Yeah,
or if you've lost a spouse.
it's a big one.
Yeah.
It can be a really, really challenging time.
Yeah, and we want to make sure that,
Yeah.
that everybody listening
Yeah.
can build a secure financial future.
You absolutely can.
It is within your reach.
Yeah.
It's not impossible.
Sometimes it feels like you're starting from scratch when you're
Okay,
not.
okay.
You have a lot of the skills and the knowledge that you need.
Yeah, you just have to maybe tweak them a little bit.
Exactly. And really focus on kind of adapting what you already know
Yeah,
to your new situation.
so true. And I think one of the most important things
Yeah.
is, and this is true really no matter what your situation
Yeah.
is creating a budget.
Yes.
Now, I
The
know
dreaded the
I know budget can be a scary word.
It is.
It does not sound fun. It makes people think about restriction and, all the things that we don't want to think about
Yeah.
when it comes to our money.
I hear you.
But a budget's actually not about restriction. It's about empowerment.
Yeah.
It's about taking control
Yes.
of your money and making conscious choices.
It's about knowing where your money is going.
Exactly.
And making sure that it's aligned with your values and your goals.
Yes. And there are a bunch of different ways to approach a budget.
Oh, yeah, there are so many.
It's definitely not a one-size-fits-all.
I like to think of a budget as like a roadmap.
Oh, that's good.
It's a financial roadmap that helps guide you towards your goals.
I like that.
Yeah,
Some people love the 50-30-20 rule,
that's a popular one.
where 50% of your take-home income
Mm-hmm.
goes to needs like your rent
Yeah.
or your mortgage, transportation,
Yes,
groceries, all that stuff.
Utilities.
Utilities, exactly.
Uh-huh.
And then 30% goes to your wants.
Yeah,
So that's like, going out to eat,
travel, entertainment.
the new pair of shoes
Yeah.
that you've had your eye on. And then that last 20%
Mhm.
goes to your savings
That's right.
and debt repayment.
That's the important part.
Yes. And some people prefer more detailed methods,
Mm.
like zero-based budgeting,
Mm-hmm.
where every single dollar
Every dollar has a job.
has a job. What do you think about all the different methods?
Well, I always say the best method is the one that works for you,
That's true.
the one that you can actually stick to.
Yeah.
So I encourage people to experiment, try different approaches,
Yeah.
and see what feels manageable and effective.
That's a great point.
What works for one person might not work for another.
Exactly.
It's all about finding what clicks for you.
In life,
Mm.
throws curveballs.
Absolutely.
So being flexible with your budget is important too.
Flexibility is key.
Speaking of those curveballs and having to adapt, I'm curious about this idea of emotional spending,
Oh, yeah.
especially after a divorce or the loss of a spouse.
It's real.
It's so easy to kind of want to buy things.
To soothe the pain.
Yes, to soothe the stress
Yeah.
or just fill a void.
It's a very common coping mechanism.
Yeah, we've all been there with that impulse purchase that we maybe
I know. I
regret later.
Yeah.
And Ann Corbin actually talked about this
I did.
in our interview with her.
Mm-hmm.
And she talked about this technique called the pause.
It's so simple.
I love that.
But it's so powerful.
It's so simple.
Yeah, just take a moment before you buy something.
Yes.
Especially something non-essential,
Yeah.
just to pause and consider,
Didn't think-
do I really need this? Or am I trying to fill an emotional void here?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I love that.
It can really help you avoid those impulse purchases that you might regret later.
It can.
Mhm.
And I think it plays into just being more mindful about our spending in general.
Absolutely. Being mindful and intentional
Yeah.
about where your money goes.
It's not about deprivation. It's about
It's about alignment.
making sure that our spending aligns with our values and goals.
Yeah. Making sure that your spending reflects what's truly important to you.
Exactly. And if anybody wants to learn more
Yeah.
about mindful spending, I definitely suggest checking out AnnCorbinInfo.com.
Great resource.
She has some really great tips on there
She does.
about being more mindful with your money. Now, another thing that I think can be stressful,
Oh, for sure.
especially when finances are tight,
Mm-hmm.
is credit.
Credit cards.
Credit cards.
Ugh.
They can be really helpful tools,
Yeah.
but they can also be really dangerous
They can get you into a lot of trouble.
if you're not using them responsibly.
Damn, careful.
It's so tempting to lean on those credit cards
yeah.
when things are tough.
When you're feeling squeezed financially,
Yes,
it's easy to reach for the plastic.
but we have to be so aware of those potential pitfalls,
Yeah.
like those high interest rates.
Because interest rates can really sneak up on you
They really can.
and turn a small balance into a mountain of debt.
Exactly. So do you have any strategies
Mhm.
that people can use to stay on top of their credit card use?
Well, one strategy that I always recommend is to think of credit cards as a convenience,
No,
not a crutch.
I like that.
Use them for purchases that you can comfortably pay off in full each month.
Okay.
Don't use them for things that you can't afford to pay for right now.
Got it.
And if you do find yourself carrying a balance, make a plan to pay it down as quickly as possible.
And I know it's hard,
It can be tough.
but sometimes it's about making those small everyday choices,
Absolutely.
like choosing cash instead of swiping a card.
Yes. Or even just leaving your credit cards at home.
Yeah,
So they're not there tempting you.
that's a good tip.
Yeah.
Just leave them at home,
Out of sight, out of mind.
and then you're not tempted to use them.
Exactly.
Okay. So moving on to separate current and savings accounts,
Oh, this is a big one.
I think this can really simplify your financial life.
It really can.
I-
Having those designated accounts just makes things so much easier.
It does. So your current account
Mm-hmm.
is like your central hub.
That's your everyday money.
Yes, that's for, paying your bills,
Paying bills, receiving income,
your income, everyday
Wow.
transactions.
managing your day-to-day finances.
Yes. And then that savings account.
Yeah.
That's where you're going to park.
That's your safe space.
Your emergency fund.
Yes, that's where you build that financial cushion.
And that financial cushion, ideally,
Yeah.
should be about 3 to 6 months of living expenses,
At least 3 to 6 months.
just in case
Yeah.
something unexpected happens.
That's right. You want to have that safety net
Yeah.
in case of job loss, medical emergencies,
Yeah.
any unforeseen circumstances.
Exactly. So you have your everyday money,
Yeah.
and then you have your saving,
That's a great way to think about it.
space money.
Yeah.
And I love setting up those automatic transfers to savings.
Automatic transfers are a game changer.
They are. Because you're paying yourself first.
Yeah, you're prioritizing your financial well-being.
Exactly. And it
Yeah.
makes it so much easier
Mhm.
to kind of stick to a savings plan.
It takes the effort out of it. You
Yes.
set it up once, and then it just happens automatically.
Exactly.
That's like magic.
And I think it's important to remember that we don't have to navigate this alone.
Absolutely not.
There are so many resources
Mm-hmm.
and people out there who can help.
Financial advisor support groups.
Yeah.
There are so many people who can offer guidance and support.
And I know for women specifically, Ann Corbin has a ton of great advice.
She's a wealth of knowledge,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to helping women navigate these kinds of financial challenges.
And you can find her at anncorbininfo.com,
That's right.
whether it's, professional guidance or connecting with other people
Mhm.
who are going through the same thing. Support is out there.
Don't be afraid to reach out for help.
Yeah.
There's no shame in asking for assistance.
And the path to financial stability is a journey.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's about progress,
Yeah.
not perfection.
That's so important to remember.
Yes.
You're not going to get everything right all the time. There will be setbacks. There
Yeah.
will be challenges.
It's about learning and growing.
Exactly.
Celebrate your successes. Learn from your mistakes.
Yes.
And just keep moving forward. You have the strength
Mm.
and the resilience to build that solid financial foundation for yourself.
You absolutely do.
You got this. And if you want more resources and advice, don't forget to check out anncorbininfo.com. Thank you so much for listening to the Health and Wealth Transformation Podcast.